Hello everyone. So I'm here today to talk about announcement. The speaker announced that day's dinner honors their colleague, Mrs. Radis. Mrs. Radis was received the Good Citizen Award for saving the life of their coworker, Mr. Chi. And he said 2 months before Mrs. Radish went beyond the call of duty of her job by taking a first aid course. And finally, he said that to begin their program, their director, Mr. Prince, uh, would make a special announcement. Number two, the speaker said, "Good morning and welcome to the 10th Annual Business Women's Association Conference." They had an exciting few days planned for attendees, and they had looking forward to hearing the keynote address by Dr. Caroline Holt in just a few minutes. However, he had some housekeeping item, uh, housekeep, housekeeping items, and he suggested the candidates take a moment then to look in their packet for their personalized uh, conference schedule that would tell the candidates where they need to go for the workshops they're registered for. And there was one slight change to that, and he said the workshop on product development had been moved to Room D. Finally, he suggested if the attendees sign up for lunch and check it to make sure they had a lunch ticket in their packet. Number three, the speaker announced to listener about the meeting agenda. She said if the listener looked at their copy of the meeting agenda, would uh, would see that they would be talking about vacation policy as well as the training of new employees. However, they would discuss that they won't discuss the budget that day since their accountant, Mrs. Lopez, was out sick. She she would also ask what whoever was in charge of taking a minutes that season make makes sure to forward them onto Mrs. Lopez after meeting uh, adjourns. As she suggested, the listener saw her after at the meeting, and she would provide the listener with Mrs. Lopez uh, confi- confidential 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 contact uh, information. Finally, uh, she said to listener begin with the first item on the agenda. Number four, the speaker announced to listeners about food company. He said that ABC Food Company was opening in the factory in Asia, and they were looking for the personnel at all management levels and level to relocate. And he suggested the applications send the resume to their home office. Finally, he said that if if the listeners had friends or family family members who who may be interested in a position, let's print out an application and have them cite the listener as a reference. Number five, the speaker announced to the staff about the regulation com- regulation computer room at the company. She said that no food or no drinks might be brought into the computer room, and she suggested the staffs were wash wash their hands after eating before using computers. Finally, she reminded that keep the doors closed and fan on at all times. Number six, the speaker announced to the audience about business event. He said that their speaker that evening was Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson was an accountant with over 20 years experience, and the uh, the title of his talk that night was what every small business administrator administrator needs to know about the taxes. And he suggested the audience following his talks. Mr. Thompson would answer questions in a great hall, and coffee and snacks would, would be served. Number seven, the speaker announcement that all employees were advised the repair work on the north elevator would begin that morning and would continue all day. He suggested use the sound elevator or or stairs when exiting the building that afternoon, and we expect to have the repairs repairs finished and everything in working order by the next day morning. They reminded that the front lobby would be painted the next week. Number eight, the speaker announced to all employees about the business event. She said that to they have to show the company appreciation for hard work of all employees. They had started an employee of the month program. Um, the employee of the month would be chosen according to his or her efficiency and dedication to work, and the employee of the month would receive award as well as lunch, free lunch, free lunches in in the company cafeteria and parking space near front door. The name of the first employee of the month would be announced that at the end of the week. Number nine, um, the speaker announced that an announcement that the people had been taking supplies from the supply room without permission, and he would like to make it uh, clear that no one made into the supply room except Mr. Lois, and Mr. Lois. There's only one who has who had who had the key, and he said that all employees who needed the supplies must given a list to Mr. Lewis, and finally he said 2 days ahead of time, and he would get supply to you. Number 10, the speaker announcement that they would choose several employees to send to the International Business Conference in California at the end of that year, and she said if the listener were interested in attending the conference, uh, let tell their department head, and all department heads would submit a list of the interested employees to Human Resources Office at the end of the month, and the finally she said uh, the decision would be posted for all to view in the staff room at the end of the month.